the Israelite community, starting with Judah.
First things first, black women, fuck being independent. They only did that shit so we wouldn't have men around to protect us when they came to get the kids. Don't. This is bigger than independence. This is bigger. Fuck that shit. Black men, you were right. They played. I agree with you. Okay, we need you now. Be humble and come to our aid because it's about to get gritty. Being all these from happening, it's in the 80s, 90s, they were in this. Now, so it's hitting it now. All gotta fix it to get the brothers back. The brothers are kind of out there very competition today, so where you get the brothers? First things first, black women, fuck being independent. They only did that shit so we wouldn't have men around to protect us when they came to get the kids. Don't be stupid. This is bigger than independence. Fuck that shit. Man, you were right. They played us. I agree with you. At the end of the day, we need you now to be humble and come to our aid because it's about to get gritty. Now, brother, this for a long time in the 80s and 90s saying this, but now it's come full circle. But now, y'all gotta fix that because the brothers are kind of a lot of them don't swear. We have more competition. You get the brothers.
Yep. You know, this is how this is how six. I'm gonna get the ones above too. The 10 among you which would not adventure to set her foot upon the ground. For delicateness and tenderness, her eye shall be evil towards the husband of her bosom, and towards her son, and towards her daughter. Verse 57. And towards her young one that cometh out from between her feet, and towards her children, which she shall bear. For she shall eat them for one of all things, secretly in the siege and straitness, wherewith thine enemy shall distress thee in all thy gates. You know? And that one, and this one. Deuteronomy 28 verse 54. So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil towards his brother, and towards the wife of his bosom, and towards the remnant of his children which he shall leave. And verse 55, so that he will not give to any of them of the flesh of his children whom he shall eat, because he have nothing left him in the siege and in the straitness wherewith thine enemy shall distress thee in all thy gates. Now, as for the last parts of those verses, you know, how the devil did. This is how. This is how Esau. Or else how can one enter his house and spoil his goods, except he first bind the strong man to his house against he is abroad, you know, which that goes in the sun. But, you know, this is how these devils did it. These devils did it. This is how the so-called black, Latino, Native American, and even speckled, you know. This is how the Israelite family was divided. This is exactly how they bound. First, he must bind the strong man. What did he do when he came to you Eves, man? What did he do when he came to you Eves? Thank you for that. Thank you. You know, hopefully back that's watching. What did Esau do? He said he offered you welfare and said, just leave the so-called black man out of it, and it trickled down. We're just gonna mention that because the rest of it, it goes without saying by now. And Jake, the so-called black man, right, so-called the Israelite man, from both kingdoms, the Israelite man from both kingdoms, scattered and regular looking, speckled and regular looking, you must kick him out. You got to kick him out. He can't take part in this. And what did you Eves do? What did you Eves do? You took the deal. You shook Esau's hand, just like in the time of the garden, when Esau. Who did Esau go to? Because Esau is the serpent. Who did he go to? He went to Eve. Genesis 3 verse 1. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field, whom Yahweh power hath made, and he said unto the woman, he offered her the package back then, man. He offered her the package back then. He offered her the package back then. And I wouldn't be surprised if that package was what? Philosophies, man. Got you believing some, moving fucked up. Verse which Yahweh power had. Now the serpent was more subtle. Verse 1 was more subtle than any beast of the field, which Yahweh power hath made. And he said unto the woman, yeah, had power said, you shall not eat every tree of the garden? Verse 2, and the woman said unto the serpent, we may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden. Verse 3, but the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, power Yahweh has said, ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. Because that fruit was deception, man. That fruit was deception. The fruit of that tree was philosophies, man. Verse 4, and the serpent said unto the woman, ye shall not surely die. Lied, right? Yeah, it's hot, yo. My bad. Verse 5, for power Yahweh doeth know, that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as powers, knowing good and evil. God's powers. And he lied on the first part, ye shall not surely die, man. But we were already powers, We would just know evil now. Verse 6, and the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes. Saw that package deal was like, yeah, I ain't gonna die if I take this, I'm gonna take it. And a tree to be desired to make one wise. Philosophies. Knocking my bad out here. She took of the fruit thereof and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat. And when you look at it, it makes sense. Knowing good and evil, right? Philosophies is exactly that. Different ways of looking at things, man. You can look at something wrong because you believe in a philosophy that has misled you. Drunk but not with wine. That's how Eve became, and then Adam, listened to Eve. That's how they got to us. That's how they got to our people. And nothing new under the sun, right? Let me get that. Just like back then. Just like back then. And the same characters involved. Eve, the woman, Jacob. 9, Jacob, righteous seed of Adam. Ecclesiastes 1 and 9, no sons of power, right, Jacob. Sharala, princess of the power. Alright, anyway, alright, you get it. Ecclesiastes 1 verse 9, the thing that hath been is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done, and there's no new thing under the sun. Verse 10, is there anything where it may be said, see, this is new? It hath been already of old time, which were Yar 11, it's a former thing. Any remember with written aforetime for our learning. Exactly why. Romans chapter 15, 4. Patience and comfort of heart. Yeah, there you go. There you go. You got 28. How can one enter into a strong man's house and spoil first bind the strong man, and then he will spoil his house? And that's exactly he bound, got out, you know, you know, this man. And then what he do? Hard for the men of our nation to succeed. And then what he do? What he gonna do? He his house. They was about to happen. Oh, because the house is the 12 verse 7, Yahushua knew their thoughts and said unto them, every house is in. Verse 26, he's divided against how shall then his kingdom stand? How shall then his kingdom stand, How shall then his kingdom stand? Just like Esau's house is being divided and is going to fall, our house is, the house of Jacob has been divided for a minute now. And that's why we haven't been able to, that's why we stayed at the bottom. And this is how Esau furthered that curse in Deuteronomy 28, man. This is how this 1 verse 14. So the angel that communed with me said unto me, cry thou, saying, thou thus saith Yahweh of hosts, I am jealous for Jerusalem and for Zion with jealousy. Verse 15, and I'm very displeased with the heathen that are at ease, for I was but a little displeased, and they helped forward the affliction. They helped forward this. Yeah, and the gift destroyeth the heart. And y'all, if a gift destroy the heart of a man, right? then how much more you women? How good the great wings unto the peacock, or wings and feathers unto the ostrich? Verse 14, which leaveth her eggs in the earth and warmeth them in dust. Verse 15, and forgetteth that the foot may crush them, or that the wild beast may break them. Verse parted. And let me get young was Ecclesiasticus verse 13. This is what the rich for his benefit he will use thee, and but if hath nothing, he will thee. Verse 5, if thou have anything, he will live with thee. Yea, he will make thee bear, and will not be sorry for it. Make thee bear, man. Esau make you evil, man. He's about to make thee bear, man. That's what he about to do. You, man, he got your hopes up. Verse 6, if he and will not be sorry for it. He ain't gonna care. Verse 6, if he have need of thee, he will deceive thee, and smile upon thee, and put thee in hope. He will speak thee fair, and say, what wantest thou? Verse 7, and he will shame thee by his meats, until he had drawn thee twice or thrice, and at the last he will laugh thee to scorn. Afterward, when he seeth thee, he will forsake thee, and shake his head at thee. He's about to do that. Esau is about to, make his move, and he's gonna laugh at you Eves, man. Kala Yahweh Shimi Awashai, that happened to those lives, because now, I'm able to bring out these scriptures, man. Now these scriptures came to mind, man, and these are heavy hitters, man. A there that received and brought down in idolatry. I had it. Esau, let me see. It's buffering. Let's see if it's live.